Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today?
Good.
How you doing today? Welcome to First
Earthlings.
Contact
How you doing today?
Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Glad that you could be here today. Absolutely am. Today's Friday. We've made it to the end of the week. It is the 8th of May. So today, we have a sun sign, Taurus, moon sign, Capricorn. Same cast of characters as yesterday. Sun sign, Taurus, Hierophant, spiritual teacher, Hebrew letter Vav, means nail or hook, hooking together the spiritual with the physical. Why is that important? Because again, we have spirit, fire, water, air, and earth. The physical earth isn't the be-all, end-all of everything. There's a lot more before that. The fire, the water, the air. If we ignore the fire, water, the air, and we just think about the earth, so therefore, important to hook together the spiritual with the physical. And the moon sign, Capricorn, tarot card, the devil. What we have here is illusion. We need to learn to look past illusion. Hebrew letter ayin means eye. We have to look past the illusions around us, otherwise we get caught up. Earth sign and earth sign. Two earth signs going on here today. So when we're dealing with earth signs, we have a tendency to look at the earth and we forget what's behind them. But we're reminded, don't forget about the spiritual, hook the spiritual, because if we don't, we'll just get caught up in the illusion that this is what's out there. But this isn't really what's out there, that's the illusion. What's behind it is this. Notice the same characters. Okay? We need to look past the illusion. We need to use our sense of discrimination and discernment, not to discriminate against other, but to discern what is going on in the world. We need to take personal responsibility for ourselves by doing the right things. I know that's a big request in this day and age, personal responsibility, but really that's what it boils down to. If we take personal responsibility, the world becomes a different place because we're all behaving accordingly. So, Capricorn moon sign. So as we go down and look at the aspects, first one we've already passed. It was Neptune right here. Looks like a little trident. Neptune is the tarot card of the Hanged Man. Hanged Man tells us we need to suspend our mind. We need to look at things from a new perspective, hang upside down. And in doing so, everything changes when we look at things from a new perspective because we start to understand what's different about it. This is the physical world, Earth. So Earth is in a good opportunity to look at things from a new perspective in the earthly world. That means we have an opportunity to look past the illusions. As we move on down to this afternoon, 4:48 p.m. Pacific time, our moon is going to be in a conjunction with Pluto. Just to remind you of conjunction, let's go find it right over here. There's our moon sign in Capricorn. Conjunction means next to each other. So here they are right there. So Capricorn, or Pluto, is in conjunction with the moon. So Pluto is deep transformation. So there's deep transformation going on in our world of Capricorn, in the material world, in the physical realm. Anything dealing with the physical. Now, I'm not saying that the physical is something that is bad. Quite the contrary. physical is good. It's part of the reality that we're living in. If we weren't supposed to be here, we wouldn't be here. The great creator of the universe would not have us be here. There's no need. So there's a purpose, and that purpose is to understand. And part of the understanding is that the earth is only a part of the bigger picture. And when we look past the earth and the physical things, we start to see more. So that's what this is about, deep transformation. Tonight, in the 9 o'clock hour, first thing we have is the sun and the moon. Taurus and Capricorn are going to be in a trine with each other. So the Hierophant and the devil, the spiritual teacher and the devil squaring off against each other, but in a good positive way. Okay, I said squaring off, just a phrase. I actually mean here that it's a trine. Okay, so they're squaring off in a trine. Get it? All right. Anyway, positive energy, good flow of things, opportunities to look deeper into who we are past that illusion. And then we do have the square, 9:47 p.m. tonight. And with this square, it involves Uranus. So Capricorn is square Uranus. Uranus, unexpected change. So there could be something unexpected in our physical world. Remember, Capricorn is illusion. We need to look past the illusion. Yes, appreciate the physical world, but don't get caught up and believe that that's the be-all, end-all of everything. Guess what? It isn't. Okay, so we got our wheel here. So we've seen the different aspects. We've seen everything here. Next one's coming up here. We see. All right. Jewish calendar. Today is 19 Liar. 19 Liar. Omer count. Day 34 to night 35. So we can see down here, 2 weeks from today, we will be at count 49. Count 49 is what we're counting to. That's the time when they've arrived at Mount Sinai and receive the Torah. Daily thought from a letter. You write of your concern that you don't believe. But if you truly don't believe, then why does not believing concern you? You write of your concern that you don't believe. But if you don't believe, then why does not believing concern you? Good question. Good question. It's kind of like the atheists say they don't believe in God. Why do they get engaged so much in the conversation about God? All right. Moon phase, 79% of the way full, making its way down. How do we know? Because it's a waning moon. Waning means going back down. Waxing means going up. Solar wind, 375.2 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index, quiet. Might only get up to a 3 over the next 24 hours. Do have these two big coronal holes, which now seem to be affecting the Earth. And on May 12th through 13th, that would be next week, Monday and Tuesday, we may be getting some solar wind coming from this, but these holes have opened up quite a bit here. M-class flare possibility is hanging steady at 55%. X-class at 10%. Geomagnetic storm activity is pretty stable as well. 10%, mid-latitudes, high latitudes, 20. So we could see a lot of stability, what's going on out there in the universe. The wind, the air, and everything around us. And last, looking at the sky, we see the moon tonight. Below the moon, Sagittarius. If we look over to the right, Saturn, Antares, Scorpius. Two brightest points in the sky are Venus and Jupiter at dusk. They're in the west, high in the southwest, respectively. Find the halfway point between them. A little upper right of there is Pollux with Castor to the right. Okay. There you have it, and this is what we'll see over the weekend. Okay, Venus, Gemini, Mercury here. So we got some nice good view. This is all looking west. All right, 30 magnitude stars shine after dark in May. Arcturus very high in the southeast. Vega much lower in the northeast, and Capella in the northwest. They appear so bright because each is at least 60 times as luminous as the sun, and because they're all relatively nearby. All right, and there you go. That's our cosmic weather for today. Let you know what's going on with the energy around you. Again, very important each and every day that we understand what we're dealing with energetically. It's no different than when we look out and we see that it's raining, so we dress accordingly. If it's cold, put on a coat. If it's hot, we wear shorts, short sleeve shirt. That's what this is, cosmic weather. What is the energy and the weather around us today that is going to be affecting us? Because everything is energy. We have spirit, which is pouring itself through and expressing itself as fire, water, air, and then finally the earth. All right? That is cosmic weather. UFO news is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. So, this first story here, green alien drone shoots around space station. May 5th, 2015. NASA's live internet cam. A green light shot past the space station on the 5th, and it looks like it's a very small object. StreetCap1 of YouTube caught it. Probably not a UFO with alien occupants, but it could be a tiny drone keeping an eye on the astronauts in space station. The green seems like a glitch in the camera, but these are $7 million HD cameras. It's not a glitch. It's an alien tech flying by. StreetCap1 posted it was recorded on May 6th by mistake. All right. It's a short video here. There you go. You know, there is a theory, just throwing it out there, there is a theory, along with the we never went to the moon theory, that this ISS is simply also a staged event, and that the ISS and what we see is actually in a giant pool. We've seen the giant pools that NASA trains in. We've seen it in movies, so we understand that. So if that's the case, then what is that that's in the pool? Is it just some graphics that somebody is adding in? I don't know. But that's just one of the theories that is out there. I think it's as possible as anything else, because never a space answer, or never a straight answer, NASA, or, as some like to also describe it, the National Association of Space Actors. Okay, moving right along. Mummified alien found in abandoned Russian lab. There's a little alien right there. We got the alien in the bottle. This looks more alien than human. Perhaps the lab was trying to create hybrids, half alien and human DNA, so they could create an advanced intelligence in humans. A successful creation could learn so fast that they could create a monetary empire in just a few years. Someone powerful wanted this. The question is, did they succeed? Police in Russia are investigating an abandoned pathology lab where mummified remains of babies have been discovered by shocked locals. Officers have launched a probe into the grisly discovery of body parts, including bones and human organs left scattered around the rundown facility in Tobolsk, western Siberia. Scars were visible on many of the bodies of the babies, showing where surgical procedures had been carried out, some as recently as 3 years ago, according to the Siberian Times. The horrifying and macabre discovery was made by a medical student, Georgy Griorchuk of Tobolsk, who had been working in the park frequented by children when he saw a building with an open door. Entering the facility, he saw jars containing remains, used slides from blood tests, and skulls lying on dusty shelves. Plastic jars had dates written on the side, including January 2012. I learned about this place from another student of the medical college. He said, I heard that in this laboratory there are a lot of abandoned, interesting things. Namely, some books lying around, organs in glass jars, all sorts of strange things. All right? So that is very bizarre. You just freeze it right there. That is not human looking. Look at the shape of the skull. Whatever this is, this isn't. This is a different type of entity than the average human. Right? Moving on. Next story here, bystander catches bizarre lights flying across the Argentinian sky. Strange things usually occur at the most unexpected times in the most unexpected places. You could be busy doing your daily tasks when a strange object suddenly appears out of the blue, and if you're lucky enough, you might even get to catch it on tape. This was the case for a law student named David Jorge Lazarte, who was in his backyard in the Poderian neighborhood when an unfamiliar sight caught his attention. He was just working out in his back garden when the bizarre scene unfolded before his eyes. David stated, "I saw this bright object in the sky, looked for my camcorder, and started to use film using my neighbor's banana tree as a reference. Eager to catch the scene on tape before it was too late, David pulled out his camera to record the strange orbs floating above the city of Cordoba in Argentina. Fortunately, he was able to gather proof of the unusual glowing device. I have a tripod for the camcorder, but I could not use it because I did not want to lose the opportunity to film the object. I recorded 2 more videos, but they did not come out well." Fortunately for David, one of the 3 videos he took did turn out fine. The footage shows an unexplained orbs rotating and moving slowly across the sky. David also added that orbs were heading towards the east. Where did these celestial lights come from, and what was their purpose? Well, it's not a surprise, given that people are fascinated with conspiracy theories of unidentified flying objects. Given the list of events in which they appeared, these strange devices pass through our planet's skies and leave us with unanswered questions. David, just like the rest of us, might never know exactly what he saw. Maybe the orbs will appear again in another city or country, or perhaps this event will just remain another mystery waiting to be solved. Flying object caught on TV during a live broadcast, news broadcast. Is it what it appears to be? Well, a suspected object was spotted right there, hovering above the buildings during a live broadcast of an Argentinian noontime TV show, Todo Nitotos. The intriguing moment prompted skywatchers to burst with excitement as they witnessed a once-in-a-lifetime experience, witnessing a mysterious UFO that appeared during the live TV broadcast. What appears to be a saucer-shaped flying object passed by the skyline as the Todo Noticias, an Argentinian television station, televised its noontime broadcast. The 3 reporters did not seem to notice the silver UFOs that hovered above the buildings in Buenos Aires as they present the headlines of the day. As the YouTube recording gives the impression that it was taken from the rooftop camera, with the incident prompting the wild speculation on the internet. Okay? So we know that the media just doesn't know what to do. They are baffled when they see this just as much as everybody else. Just as much as everybody else. Odd dancing orbs filmed at different ends of the globe, which sparked latest UFO claims. In other words, similar UFOs filmed in Asia and South America at the same time. Strange dancing lights have been captured on video over Southeast Asia and South America, leading to more claims of UFO visitations. 2 pictures taken in the Philippines and 1 over Argentina. The bizarre series of videos of the lights in the night sky above the province of Pampanga in the central Luzon region of the Philippines were uploaded to social media before the frenzy among the local witnesses made it onto local TV news. Sightings of a number of odd lights photographed or videotaped created immense online debate, with some claiming they were genuine UFOs, others dismissing them as drones, fireflies, or Chinese lanterns. Paulo Gallardo posted a video to YouTube of a sighting seen on the Loado Diversion Road, and the lights there were more than 5 minutes, as he claimed there were no hills or tall buildings, so it must have been a flying object. Yes, Manila Bulletin spoke to Camilo Decane of the Philippine Astronomical Society, who was certain they were drones being tested by the country's military or private individual. He said, "Drones, just like guns in the U.S., can now be purchased easily." Police Chief Superintendent Ronald Santos said those could be military drones doing some surveillance testing. The way I see it, there is nothing stunning there. I don't consider this a UFO. In other words, nothing to see here, folks. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. Nothing to see here. Everything's normal. Scottish UFO and Paranormal Conference promises to be filled with strange and unknown. From UFO sightings to ghostly encounters, a day packed with paranormal activity is about to descend on Edinburgh. The Scottish UFO and Paranormal Conference will take place at the Pleasance Theatre on Saturday, June 20th, delving into weird and wonderful paranormal topics. Organized by the founder of Strange Phenomena Investigations, Malcolm Robinson, the event will explore these mysterious sightings and events across the UK. The conference is one of a kind, Malcolm said. It's to educate the people of Scotland of the strange world of UFOs and the paranormal. We aim to do this by providing some of the best speakers in the United Kingdom in their field to present their own facts and findings about these wide ranges of strange mysteries that have totally perplexed us for many years. It's a great opportunity for the public to come along and see where we are with all of these mysteries. We welcome skeptics. At the end of the day, I was very skeptical myself. It wasn't until Malcolm had his own ghostly encounter in Haunted House, nonetheless, he realized there must be more to the paranormal than he believed. I set out to disprove all of these subjects when I was a younger chap. He said, it wasn't until I spent a night in a haunted house and got slapped and my hair pulled by nothing, that's when I came off the fence. At the end of the day, all we are trying to do, at least show the public, is where we're going on. You don't have to believe a word of this, but for goodness sake, just take in a wee bit. Take it in, and if it sits right with you, fantastic. Alright. Okay, so there you go. June 20th, that's coming up. If you're out in Scotland, check it out. And one last piece, this last one here is pretty fascinating. Rosicrucians, secret knowledge of extraterrestrial visitations. From Ellen Lloyd, Message to Eagle. Secret documents hidden in the library of the Rosicrucians reveal humans' mysterious past and the inevitable future of the human race. What was the function of the pyramids? How and why was Atlantis destroyed? Who are the guardians of the secret wisdom? Where did their creators come from? Let us open these ancient gates and look into the past and the future. As our readers already know from our previous articles, after the destruction of Atlantis, the Shining Ones, a group of highly advanced extraterrestrial beings who were our creators and who later became worshipped as gods, were scattered over all continents. The Shining Ones continued their mission and assisted and guided humans in their development. They shared their knowledge and taught man agriculture, medicine, astronomy, mathematics, and everything that was needed for our survival as a species. The Shining Ones were a superior race, and much of what they accomplished seemed like magic to our ancestors. However, these alien beings were no magicians. On the contrary, many of them were skilled scientific technicians. The scientific and technological knowledge of the Shining Ones was and still is beyond our comprehension. The remarkable alien civilization was fully aware of the danger of revealing all of its knowledge to the humans, who were considered less developed species. Therefore, the Shining One's secret knowledge was passed on, but only to a group of carefully chosen individuals, like pagan priests and initiates of the secret wisdom. It was their duty to guard and preserve the wisdom of the Shining Ones, and so they did. The secret knowledge of the Shining Ones survived until today, but the teachings of the gods are not easily accessible to the ordinary person. The extraordinary and extremely valuable knowledge has been written down and is locked behind closed doors that are very difficult to open. The Vatican Library is not the only place that is full of secrets. There are also some secret societies that possess unique knowledge of our planet's history. Today, I would like to write a little about the secret knowledge of the Rosicrucians, a secret society of mystics formed in the late medieval Germany. According to the secret document in the library of the Rosicrucians, the Greek philosopher Plato was a depository of the Atlantean tradition, and his account is genuine. Part of the teachings of the Rosicrucians had been revealed to the order's members by the French Grand Master Raymond Bernard. According to Raymond Bernard, Atlantis was a highly civilized continent with means of transmission and transportation compared with which ours are nothing. In its time, it was the heart of the world. Colonized people received knowledge in keeping with their capacities. In particular, open countries, a direct relationship was established by the College of Sages, that is, the highest initiates at the time, guardians of the secret wisdom, and the relationship was marked by a pyramid temple in the image of the Supreme Pyramid, where the college had its seat in Atlantis and where its knowledge was preserved. Only one pyramid, however, has reproduced the Supreme Pyramid, and even then in different measure, what is known as the Pyramid of Cheops. It perpetuates the face of the world, the totality of Atlantean wisdom, whereas others reveal only a part of it. In the rather near future, discoveries beneficial to humankind will put an end to many arguments. The Atlanteans knew the nature and the power of the cosmic forces, particularly to their occurrence, and carefully applied them to agriculture and harmonious maintenance of the overall balances of these currents to avoid all geological catastrophes that were written in man's power to avert. The pyramids also fulfilled this function because of the duly studied locations in which they were built. Elsewhere, points of protection were sufficient. This was the case, for example, with dolmens and menhirs. They precisely marked places of conjoined forces and focalized universal energy where efficacious ceremonies could be held. It was the same megalith which could be seen all over the world in estates, fields, even cities, but their sole function was to amplify cosmic energy and improve harvests. It can be considered, moreover, that all these secondary elements were attached from the standpoint of energy to the Supreme Pyramid. The entire Earth thus constituted a kind of efficient receptacle for the whole of the cosmic forces. When the Supreme Pyramid had been unfavorably altered, as a result of ignorant and ambitious intrigues, the planetary catastrophe that engulfed Atlantis transformed the surface of the earth and became engraved in the folk imagination under the inaccurate name of the deluge. In the basis of teachings of authentic African secret societies, a particle of the Atlantean wisdom has been preserved. At the time of the catastrophe, the supreme sages took refuge in Egypt and had safeguarded the scientific and technological knowledge that made Atlantis a continent whose civilization has never been equaled, not even in our time. The sages did not reconstitute the empire because of what happened and because of this accordance with the universal plan. It is a whole world that is called upon to become the new Atlantis. The human will is always free. Once again, and for the last time, mankind will face the ultimate choice from which will result either in the end of extraordinary civilization or the end, not of a continent this time, but of the world. The time of choice is approaching. It will be marked by the reappearance of Atlantis, the resurgence of the vanished continent before the astonished human race. The sages have guided our development. They have given men the discoveries that were suggested to them as soon as he was able to understand, receive, and use it, each of their without danger. They have delivered, in the strictest sense of the word, the scientific and the technical knowledge acquired by the Atlanteans and preserved by them and their successors. The knowledge of the Atlanteans came from another galaxy and was brought by those who became the first rulers of Atlantis. Some of these extraterrestrials returned to their home. Others remained on Earth to carry out a mission. All of the world's civilizations came from this second group. In other words, the creators of humanity were extraterrestrial, and can we all consider ourselves children of the stars? Very interesting. So, we've talked on this show many times about Atlantis. We understand what went on there. I have memories of Atlantean times. I know many of you do as well, because you've told me as such. And so, here we are. Are we having fun yet? Are we having fun yet? Yeah. Volunteering. Volunteering is good. Okay. Next, we're going to get into some other news, but I'm going to jump away for a moment. Stay tuned.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Great Spirit, send down your love, send down your love.
continue on. All right. Yesterday, if you listened to the show, you saw the piece on the Confederate flag, what it means and what it doesn't mean. So as I continue to do some more research on the various time period around the Confederacy and the Civil War, I came across some interesting information that I thought I would pass on. Because at first when I saw it, I couldn't quite believe that there was actually this much of a connection, but there is. I'm going to present this to you, and you decide what you think about this. But we're going to start off first here. This is a Wikipedia page of the 2015 Baltimore Riots. It tells us, April 12, 2015, Freddie Gray, a 25-year-old African-American man who was a resident of Baltimore, Maryland, sustained injuries following his arrest by police officers. On April 18th, after Gray's subsequent coma, one resident of Baltimore protested in front of the Western Police District, and Gray died on the following day, April 19th, 2015, a week after being arrested. So we know about this. We've heard all about this over and over and over. It's on all of the media. Okay, unless we're living in a cave with our head in a hole in the ground, then we certainly know about this incident. And we all know about the riot that took place. As a matter of fact, the top of the article, it's called the 2015 Baltimore Riots. And the date in question that I really want us to pay attention to here is this date of April 19th. Okay? April 19th, we have a battle, a protest in Baltimore. Now, I'm going to go over here, and I found this. The Baltimore Riot of 1861. This was when the Civil War started. The Baltimore Riot of 1861, also called the Pratt Street Riot and the Pratt Street Massacre, was a conflict on April 19th in 1961 in Baltimore between anti-war Democrats, the largest party in Maryland, as well as the Confederate sympathizers and members of the Massachusetts militia. En route to Washington for federal service, it produced the first deaths by hostile action in the American Civil War. So what we have here is on April 19th in Baltimore was a riot that led to the first deaths. In 2015, 154 years later, on April 19th, in Baltimore, a man died. There were great riots that occurred. And we know the rest of the story. Don't you think this is a strange coincidence? The date of April 19th, there were riots in Baltimore, and then again April 19th. Don't you find that somewhat strange? I do. But in this world of coincidences, there's no such thing as a coincidence. So is this something that was somewhat planned? What's truly going on here? That is the question. What's going on? That's very bizarre, isn't it? You know, there's a saying, those who don't remember the past are doomed to repeat it. So how many will remember this? How many remember that these two events are connected? Some say, oh, these have no connection. But really? Really? Let's take a further look at this. This is the riots of 1861. On the afternoon of April 18th, 1861, Baltimore Mayor George W. Brown dispatched a strong letter of warning to Abraham Lincoln. The people are exasperated to the highest degree of the passage of troops, Brown wrote, and the citizens are universally decided in the opinion that no more should be ordered to come. The authorities did their best today to protect both strangers and citizens to prevent a collision. It is my solemn duty to inform you that it is not possible for more soldiers to pass through Baltimore unless they fight their way at every step. Earlier that day, 5 companies of Pennsylvania militia and detachment of the 4th Artillery Regulators ran into a rock-throwing mob. Have we heard anything about a rock-throwing mob this time? We sure have. At the Bolton Street Station, Nicholas Biddle, a 65-year-old black orderly, caught the brunt of the crowd's wrath. The incident, though minor, reflected the sectional tensions between the destined America for civil war. It was another thread, a seemingly endless triangle of problems facing the embattled U.S. president. Okay, I'm going to go on to more, but isn't that very bizarre? I think it's extremely bizarre. You know, we've got a really, really bad situation going on here in America, and we seem to in some way be turning a blind eye to it. But at the same time, we've got riots going on, which now I've shown you have a connection to riots that also took place in Baltimore at the beginning of the Civil War. There are those who say that we are on the brink of a civil war right now. So how bizarre is it that at a time when we are thought to be on the brink of civil war, that a riot breaks out in Baltimore, and the events are all triggered around the same time as the events that were starting at the Civil War? There's something there that I don't know exactly how or why or what it's all about, but I do know it's very bizarre. We have military drills which are being prepared across this country. Jade Helm. We're told they're only going to be in, 7 states, but we don't know for sure because we're not always getting a straight answer from our military or our government. There's reports coming in from all across the country of military drills. I was contacted last night about, Black Hawk helicopters flying over Nashville for the last couple of days. I've heard stories out in Florida. You hear stories down in Texas. I mean, it's happening all around us. So are we going to continue to turn a blind eye to what's taking place and just be stupid? That would really be the stupid thing if we were to do that, because history seems to be repeating itself. And we still have this situation, this ugly, ugly situation of racial tensions. And it seems as if the administration that we have in power seems just to want to propagate that. And the other day, Michelle Obama was at a museum opening, and we're making comments that museums are catering to white people and not for blacks. I just still can't understand that, because museums are places of learning that are open to all people. And every time I've been in a museum, I've seen people of all nationalities, of all colors. So I don't exactly know where she's coming from in that regard, other than she's trying, just like her husband, to continue to create a racial divide amongst the people. Seems to be working. So, what's going to go on with all of this? I don't know. But I do think that Americans really do need to pay attention. We need to find a way to get control of all of our angers and our emotions. We need to stop acting out the way that we're behaving, because if we don't, we could find ourselves in a whole lot of problems. And we don't want to be in those problems, do we? Some seem they do, but I think most don't. I believe that there's a lot more good people amongst all of the various races here on this planet. Ultimately, we're only one race, the human race. We just have different colors. It's like a box of crayons. You open a box of crayons, it's a box of crayons. Everything in the box are crayons, but the crayons come in many different colors. And you know what you can do with all those colors? You can make a really nice picture. You need all of the colors. They all are part of the mix. So that's what we've got going on here. We've got a planet. We've got an Earth. We have all of these people, a variety of colors, and yet we're still having small groups amongst all of these different individuals and groups that are still fighting with each other. I know that we're told that the interracial fighting is really intense, which it is. Crime from one particular group upon the other, blacks on whites, whites on blacks, Hispanics on, the other races, on and on and on. However, some of the biggest crimes that are occurring within one's own particular group. Black on black crime is, off the charts. Blacks are killing themselves. Why is this going unnoticed? Does anybody have any concern about this? If I was a member of the black community, which I'm obviously not, I would be highly concerned, and I would want to look into understand why the people that I'm a part of, why they are killing themselves off. If I look in to see what's going on with the white on white crime. I'm not too happy with that. Or the Hispanic on Hispanic, or the Asian on Asian. Whatever crime's going on, it doesn't matter if it's you against your own race of people, or you against a different race. It's all wrong. None of this does any good for anybody. We should be well past the point where we're not fighting anymore. We should be the point of getting along. So if after all these years we're still fighting like this, the question is why? Who is keeping that hatred alive? We know who. We see them. We see the media keeping it alive. We see the governments keeping it alive. And we see various personalities that are out there in the world keeping it alive as well. Blacks and whites. That seems to be the biggest problem right now between the blacks and the whites. The other races are out there, but we're not having big problems with all of those. And so why can't the blacks and the whites just get along? It would be nice. And for the most part, I do believe that that's happening. But we keep being shown all of this horrific fighting that's taking place, and we're being pitted against each other. If we don't use our smarts, if we don't pay attention, my friends, they're going to continue to play the American people. And I see that all the time. I know you see that. And it's kind of sad, because I would have thought in this day and age people were smarter. But it doesn't seem like it with the way that we're behaving. The question is, where is it going to go? I think that's up to us. We just have to take personal responsibility. I know there's that word again, personal responsibility, or that phrase. Personal responsibility. And then when we do, we realize that it's wrong to hurt another person. We realize it's wrong to lash out at others. And we learn that getting along is the way that we need to go, because by getting along, we create, we build, we evolve. That's what it's supposed to be about. So I'm just hoping and praying that that's the direction that we're going to go, into getting along. All right? And I know that you want that too. Nobody wants fighting. Nobody. Seems like there are some, but I don't believe that. Even the ones that are out there rioting and causing problems, I don't believe that they even really want those problems deep down. That they're lashing out about something that is inherently problematic within them. Has nothing to do with anything other than their own personal problems, and not taking personal responsibility from them. Because we all get angry, we all get upset, we all have a moment where we would want to lash out, but we don't all do that. That's the difference. Some people aren't in that place where they're stopping themselves. They're like the bull who sees the color and then they charge. You know, we have to stop acting like the bulls and charge every time we see a red flag. We need to be a bit more peaceful. Especially when so many individuals that are out there touting the Bible and the spiritual works. Well, if you're touting that, you know what you should do? Actually put into practice what's there and live peacefully. You can't talk about Jesus and being peaceful and then want to go out and fight a war. The two don't match in any way, shape, or form. Okay? So, a lot of seriousness going on this week. A lot of tension going on in the world. I thought that we could use a good laugh. So I ran across a video here that I thought was hilarious, and I thought I'd show you because, well, I'm pretty certain you're going to find it equally hilarious. It says, robbers get double knocked out by rocks. Alright? So let me play this for you. Be prepared to laugh. Be prepared to laugh. Here, let me just set this up. Okay. Okay, watch this. Here we go. Alright, doesn't even know his buddy knocked out. Oh! Alright. Alright, there you go. Instant karma for those. Yeah, play that over and over. I have to watch it a few times today. It's just hilarious. Hilarious, hilarious, hilarious. Alright. So, where we go from here? Well, we're evolving. Part of the evolution is understanding the process that the planet's evolving, that we are evolving. We get these messages that every day you hear played on the show that talk about the changes that are taking place and the evolution that we're in the midst of. Dolores Cannon talked about how the Earth was pulling apart. You had one Earth that was moving up, raising in vibration, and another that was pulling away, continuing to stay at the lower vibration. We, upon this planet, have this opportunity to do exactly that, to raise our consciousness with what's evolving and moving, or to stay behind. Which do we prefer? Well, I guess that's up to each and every individual. This article is called Transitioning into 5D Earth. This is by Greg Prescott at In 5D. We're living in exciting times where soon we may be transitioning into 5D Earth. So what might this transition be like? Ideally, the transition to 5D Earth will happen overnight, but in the event that it doesn't, here are some possible scenarios. As more people awaken to the tyranny and the oppression of all governments, change is being reflected in the form of global protests. It has become quite obvious that the overall population is not content with a system that supports the banksters while keeping the rest of the population in economic slavery. With the new energies of the age of Aquarius, change is inevitable. In order for any dramatic change to occur, there needs to be a complete reformation of the following big four systems: government, money, education, religion. Realistically, this would not occur overnight and will take some time, but the current thread indicates that this is already happening, as evidenced by global protests against governments, financial collapse of virtually all nations, the demand for quality education, and the exposure of the corruption within religious denominations. We need to remember that all these changes are going to be the foundation for all mankind, and in the future, and that it will probably not happen overnight. While we are witnessing the collapse of governments, money, education, religion, none of these will go quietly. After all, each area has kept us suppressed for so long that those leaders' sole focus will be to maintain their power for as long as possible. Fortunately for us, the divine plan is already in motion and gaining momentum. Those in power will frantically try to cling on to their illusion of power, greed, and corruption, but will not be able to maintain their grip over humanity for much longer. While we can still expect a few more false flag attempts, they will only help to expose the people who instigated them. The transition will begin with the new alignment of infrastructure that is dedicated to the betterment of humanity as we become a Type 1 civilization. This will begin with the replacement of all governments with councils of elders who will be immediately removed from their position the minute they stop working in humanity's best interest. No more 4-year terms and idle promises of hope and change. Change will be immediate and will always involve improving the quality of life for everyone. In the next few years, I can foresee a collapse of the Roman Catholic Church, with their net worth being distributed to the global population as payment for their corruption and their tyranny against the world through unsanctioned wars and financial greed, as well as retribution for their immoral acts against humanity, such as their involvement with pedophilia, which always gets brushed under the table with no repercussions. This would provide abundance for everyone in terms of monetary value. While money will not be needed in the golden age, it will help everyone transition into the new age. Also, for absolute forgiveness of all debt was initially created by the banksters who create money out of thin air through fractional reserves. In other words, if I was the bank and there was only $100 in existence and I lent you that 100, I would expect you to pay me back 110. But where does that $10 come from if it never existed? This is all a Ponzi scheme that has been instituted for centuries by the banksters, and it will come to an end. As more truths are revealed, their educational system will need to reflect the true history of our existence. All history books will need to be rewritten to reflect these truths, as each one is currently used as propaganda to support any given country's view on history on any event. The mainstream media will be unrecognizable from what it is today. Imagine any given TV station after the cabal goes down and is replaced with people who work for the best interest of humanity. How cool would it be to have David Icke and or Graham Hancock as reporters, anchormen on the 6 o'clock news? Imagine watching quality television with commercials that help benefit humanity. This is where we're heading. We still have jobs, but they will all help improve the quality of life for everyone. In time, most jobs will be automated by machinery, as explained by the Venus Project. In place of money, we might switch over to an energy system where everyone is paid equally no matter what level of education and have or know what credentials you possess. The goal is to eventually get rid of the money system because, as we have seen, the accumulation of money brings corruption and greed, and neither will be tolerated in 5D Earth. Let me jump down here to the end of the article because you can see it's quite lengthy. A lot of good info. With the increase of UFO sightings, it has become apparent that our galactic neighbors are gathering to welcome us to our next level of spiritual evolution. We may even receive help from our galactic friends on the rebuilding of infrastructures as well as being introduced to new technologies. Or we are the light that is at the end of the tunnel. It is time for graduation. Are you ready to go home to 5D Earth? All right. Very good article indeed. Indeed. So, I was talking this week. I said that we often wonder why a civilization collapses. But I don't think we need to wonder anymore because we are in the midst of collapse right now. And we could see what's going on, all the degradation and depravity that's taking place across the entire earth. We know why a civilization collapses. We see it happening here in America. But with a collapse comes an opportunity to rebuild. And so for those who are paying attention to what's going on, we can prepare for the rebuilding at the same time that the collapse is going down, so that we can find a way to transition from one phase to the other, because truly this is happening. It has been happening, and everything is moving in time and escalating exactly as those who looked at time really understood it would. There's many like myself who understand that 2012 was a significant time, and that December 21st, a shift did occur. We also understand that since that shift, time has continuing to be moving along, energies are speeding up, and we have seen dramatic changes over the last couple of years. So I'm telling you that these will continue, and it is our opportunity to really grow and make things the way that we want it to be, as opposed to all of this nonsense we've been forced to endure. Here is a message from the Council.
The Council, do you know?
By Ron Head, May 6, 2015.
The Council.
Why are you here? What are you here for? What should you be doing? These are the questions you always ask us. Do you ask because you are truly lost? No, you ask because deep in your heart, you know. You know that you came here for a reason.
But I don't know the reason.
Well, actually you do. And what is popping up before you in your life is what you have decided to work on. It is there for one or more of several possible reasons. It may be the principal reason for your being here. It may be something that you have agreed to clear before you begin working on your principal goal. It may be something you have agreed to work on for mankind's benefit. It may include aspects of all of these. The one thing that is invariably true is that it will continue to appear before you in various guises until you have handled it. It is also true that once you have awakened to your purpose, agreed to do what is before you today, and simply set out to move forward on this path, you will discover that it gives you a happy feeling of satisfaction. You begin to draw into your life things that bring you more and more joy and satisfaction. You begin to see possibilities that never occurred to you before. So here is the apparently hidden truth. Your path, that elusive thing that you have searched and searched for, is the path you are on. It is only hidden because you have hidden it. And you have hidden it so that you could find it. There is an aspect of you, the very largest part of who you are, that never forgets, that never doesn't know, and that always works with us to see that you are exactly where you need to be, for yourself and for the all. And you have a self-correcting guidance system. Did you know that? Your guidance system is not in your pocket and you can't leave home without it. Most of you still don't know about it, or know about it and forget to use it all too often. We tell you this over and over again. We tell you many things over and over again. We find infinite ways to dress up simple truths in order to keep you on track and to inform those of you who are just awakening. That's our job. So where is this guidance system? It's in your heart. That is not news, is it? News flash. Just do what feels good and right for you. Notice we did not say to do what anyone else says is right for you. We did not say to find it in a book. You will know because you know. You will know because you know. You will know because you know. But you will not know if you do not value what you know. You will not know if you doubt what you know. You will not know if you do not listen to what you know.
So what to do now?
We suggest that you may want to begin with a game of what if.
What if all of the things that councils and guides and angels and teachers have been telling me over and over are true? What if I really am a divine being? What if I really do know? What if I really can? What if I always have been? What if the time really is now? What will I do today if I know it really will matter?
Because, dearest friend, they are, you do, you can, and you always have. It is. And we promise you, what you do really does matter. You can suffer that or you can have fun with that. You choose. That's another thing that is unavoidably true. You choose. Spend some time watching a toddler choose. Then go out and have fun with that. Because you can. Good day.
Alright, that's a good message. We can. We do. We need to really remember our own power and abilities. We're all divine beings. All of this other stuff is just an illusion, all this fighting that's going on. It's really kind of unnecessary. But we can get along. That's what our nature is. That's what we are about. So let's do it. Let's get along. Warrior of Light, page 69. A warrior knows that an angel and a devil are both competing for his sword hand. The devil says, "You will weaken. You will not know exactly when. You are afraid." The angel says, "You will weaken. You will not know exactly when. You are afraid." The warrior is surprised. Both the angel and devil have said the same thing. Then the devil goes on, "Let me help you," and the angel says, "I will help you." At that moment, the warrior understands the difference. The words may be the same, but the two allies are completely different, and he chooses the angel's hand. So let's close our eyes, take a deep breath, and exhale. Another deep breath. Exhale again. Another deep breath. And exhale. Let that energy flow through your body. Feel it moving through all of your chakras. From the head on down, the crown chakra, color violet. The third eye chakra, color indigo. The throat chakra, color blue. Heart chakra, color green. Solar plexus chakra, color yellow. Navel chakra, color orange. And the root chakra, color red. See all of these multi-colors within your body. And as you see all of these colors, and you feel your body being filled with this energy of light, just feel it and let it expand outward. And as it expands outward and it fills your room and expands outward into the neighborhood and the city and your state and your country and across the ocean to the other countries, and just imagine this wave of love being sent out from each and every individual. Now, let us imagine this world as being a peaceful place. Let us pray. Heavenly Mother and Father, we pray this moment that your peace is expressed through us into the world, that we might become peaceful, that your love is shared with us, that we might be more loving, and that our minds are open to understanding your wisdom, that we might be more intelligent. We pray that we understand the divine guidance that you provide, and that our eyes are open to see all of the energies around us that are here to assist and help us this day and every day. We imagine the world, God, as a place of beauty and harmony, peace and love. And we pray that all of the hearts of all people on the earth are opened to understanding this love and beauty and peacefulness. And most importantly, that we remember our divine inheritance, our divine heritage, and we begin to act accordingly. Thank you, Mother and Father, for all of the wisdom and the love and the gifts that you have given to us during our lifetimes upon this earth. And we pray that the love continues to grow and expand within each and every one. So let the subconscious mind continue upon that journey, looking for love, sending out love and light, and just putting positive vibes into the world. And bring the conscious mind back to the present moment. On the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, whole. Happy, healthy, whole. Now, take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. And that is it, my friends. That's our show for today. That's the show for the week. A lot going on in the world, but we have the opportunity to make this world a better place. That's part of the challenge. Let's rise to the challenge, my friends, and let's make this world a better place. It's up to us. All right? I'll see you next week. Have an awesome weekend. I love you. Keep loving each other. Peace. I'm out of here.